fancy meeting you here. Hello indeed. Hello, 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 hello. Ooh. Well, tonight is the first live stream in 3 days, or was it 4 days? It's definitely more than 2. So what's happened? Well, quite honestly, I've been editing videos because on my other channel I kind of got somewhat behind, and what I noticed there is that when you get a video less than every 2 days, suddenly the numbers start to plummet. Looking at the graphs, it's like a mountain range, and on Project Nigel it looked like I was about to meet the salt plains. I thought, I can't be doing with that. I need to do a bit more. Video editing, and so that's what I've done. And so I managed to put out 2 proper sized videos in 2 days. I'm feeling quite pleased and a bit more relaxed about it. Last night I was supposed to be doing a live stream as well, but I didn't get until quite late, and it was kind of a bit what's the word? Inappropriate. But I'm here now, ready and waiting for a huge audience of people that I do and don't know to come along and say nice things, and sometimes not so nice things. I don't care. Either way is going to work for me. And whilst I remember, live chat. That's right, live chat. Now, live with a twist. What is all that about? Well, I'll tell you exactly what that is all about. Tonight, I thought I'm going to do something really different and do the live stream from my car at the top of Blackstone Edge. But I realised something after a while. There's just one problem with that. It's dark. And up there are no lights. So, I can't. It's not going to work, is it? No, it wouldn't. And the other problem is as well, I go any longer than 10 minutes without a cup of tea and suddenly I can't string a sentence together. I need to keep myself lubricated. Lubrication is the name of the game. And all that. Well, that is 3 minutes in, and it's probably time I started to say hello and to come up with some plan for the rest of tonight's live stream. What could it be about? Has anybody got any suggestions? Because I'm just here, I'm just winging it, of course. That's really what I do. I come along and I just wing it. And I managed to get away with it. But if you have any suggestions on things that you'd like us or me to talk about tonight, I would say all ears, but nobody's all ears, are they? That's ridiculous. Right, glasses on. That glasses on means time to do some reading of people's comments. And here we have the guy from SETI Alpha 5. Good afternoon to all. How are we all? Of course, yes, it's afternoon there to you, isn't it? Whereas here it is evening, which Dick Dastardly has already pointed out by saying good evening, and good evening to you, Dick Dastardly. You are most welcome here. I'll catch my breath. I've just started talking and not really stopped, haven't I? Hi. Where have you been, Mustard Cream? Oh, I've been here. I just haven't been doing a live stream, have I? I don't want to overdo it, really. I thought as well, if I have a couple of days off, maybe I'll do another one and things will just work out better. Maybe people will have missed me, like I miss them. I miss the trolls, if I'm honest, I really do. Stephen S. Paul says, live from the fish tank. It's Captain Mustard. Yes, indeed it is. Peter P is here and says hello, and with a wave as well, so that we know exactly what hello means. It's that. Hand outstretched and waving away. Andrew Buttigieg, a very good evening, Mustard, and everyone. Welcome, Andrew Buttigieg. Goofy Goober. I'm a I'm a stay for some time, maybe, but it's 10 p.m. soon. Oh, right. Oh, yes, of course. It's another hour before it's 10 p.m. here. Something special. You're going to stay for something special. Right. I didn't really decide what that special thing might be. That's the only thing. Now, I really do have to think with my feet, don't I? Should I cook? Should I talk? Should we just philosophize over some of the more awkward moments in life? I don't know. Hi, Spotty Bot. Hi, Dick. Steve Culg is here. Stephen, Andrew, and waving with the orange top on, which of course this evening I am not sporting because it's in the car. It's in the boot of the MG, in fact, where I would quite like to be right now. Carl Burton, when do you think car manufacturing peaked? Now, when it peaked, well, it's probably peaked now, hasn't it? Because there's more cars being bought new now, I think, than what there has been for a long time. Oh, what do you mean? When do I think the best cars were? Because the best cars, in my opinion, are definitely the 1990s. The 1990s, where they discovered how to make engines reliable. They discovered how to make engines fast. Not fast, but produce power. And they discovered how to bolt things together so they don't fall apart. That is the car of the 90s. Unless, of course, we're talking Ford or Vauxhall, really. But yeah, I mean, 90s cars, some of the best made cars going. They don't look like they're the best made because they just didn't. But they weren't pretending to be something else. And that is when cars were cars that could actually rely upon. If you want a car to go from one end of the country in to the other, and it's vitally important that you get there, go for an old one. Go for a 1990s Mazda or Toyota or something like that. There we go. That is a answer to your question, and I liked answering that one. Steve Cole, yes. Oh, Emma Lemon. I'm not going to call you M11 because that's not my joke. Emma Lemon. Emma Lemon, Emma Lemon, Emma Lemon. Good evening, Mr. Mustard and Merry Minions. Merry Minions. Happy onions. That's what we all are. A bunch of happy onions in a bag. The bag's important. It's 9:55 here, says Goofy Goober. I forgot where you are. So I'm going to figure it out because that means that you are an hour ahead. So you're going to be in probably somewhere like France or Spain or maybe Germany. Hi to all from City Alpha 5. Carl Burton, yes. Welcome, says the person with a name I can't pronounce because I don't understand Arabic. Is it Arabic? I'll tell you what's else interesting about this is that when usernames are in that kind of language, the username and the writing gets mixed up. So welcome is there instead. That's really strange. That really confused me. The first time I experienced that, I got completely lost. I didn't know what was going on. And I said, oh, hello, welcome. How are you? Welcome. And that must have been really confusing for the person that was saying welcome. And, you know, it didn't cause any offense, at least not that I know of. But it confused. It confused me and it confused them. So let's have not that open again. Let's not have that open again. Let's close the drawer of misconception. Howie, 90. No, Howie X. 90s cars were junk. Well, what kind of 90s cars are? American 90s cars. Well, the trouble is, I'm not talking about American cars, I'm talking about European cars. And European cars are completely different to American cars. Completely different. And that's why in America, the patriotic will buy Ford Ford pickup trucks, etc. That's the biggest selling vehicle in America, isn't it? It's Ford pickup trucks, or so I believe, or it might be Dodge, or whatever the case, it's pickup trucks. And Americans are very patriotic, but you still see quite a lot of Japanese and German cars there. And that's because they're better. That's really it. They're just better made cars. I don't think they're any more reliable though, because one thing that the Americans did manage to do is make reliable engines. And that's because they didn't push them too much. You've got these big engines that don't produce a great deal of power that will basically live forever. And then, of course, us Brits and the Europeans make fun of the Americans for not being able to produce a lot of power out of a big engine. But they can make fun out of us for actually making cars that don't work for very long. So there we go. I'm on your side as well as disagreeing. Do you like any scientific subjects? Asked Goofy Goober. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I like them all, really. I like them all. Why? Is there anything in particular that you think that we should be talking about? Tyler Kennedy, I'm back, baby. Did you miss me? Yes, Tyler. I most definitely did. But you're back. Did you not realise that I wasn't back either? I've not been back since Friday. Is it Friday? Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yes, Friday was the last live stream I did, which is quite a few days ago now, isn't it? Let's be honest. I'm pretty good at being honest about things. Kalam Media channel from Egypt. Okay. Right, I see. Is that what that says? Kalam Media channel from Egypt. If it is, then I'll refer to you as Kalam Media channel from Egypt. The only thing is, if I have other people in with this kind of, is it Arabic, writing, I may not know who's who. So please, accept my apologies for being stupid, or at least being a little bit lazy on languages there. Carl Burton, thanks, I agree. Stop rusting, but still had glass headlamps and so on. Well, they didn't all have glass headlamps, but that's the point. That's the point. The 90s was when cars did stop rusting, stopped breaking down, and before this went, they were quite good. They weren't massively stylish though. But then again, when's the best time for styling cars? 70s? 60s? Definitely not really the 80s and 90s, is it? Oh gosh, who is this? New Metal Viking, Johnny Crook. How wonderful to see you here. It's your sixth favourite sidekick. Went to Bournemouth and back this weekend. 642 miles in the 45. Drove absolutely impeccable. That is quite a long way to go in an old car, isn't it? How did you build up the trust to do that so early on? Normally I find I have to have a car for quite a while before I really go that far in it. You do this thing where you'll take it to the shop and back. You'll go to work and back, provided it's not that important that you get to work. And then you'll go a bit further. And then you'll go a bit further. But you've gone from having the car, coming down to my meetup, which was probably a reasonably good test for it, to going to Bournemouth and back. Bournemouth, a long way from here. Well done, Johnny Crook. I'm in Denmark, says Goofy Goober. Good. Have you travelled through Europe? Asks Harry. I haven't, and I'd love to do. I would love to do. I really would very much enjoy travelling Europe. I just haven't got around to it. And it's a matter of really, to do that kind of thing, you need to be saving up lots, having the money there to actually be able to save. And I never really have. I've always kind of lived right on the edge of being able to afford things. So that means that you can't really save up for things. And so I haven't travelled Europe. One day I will become successful and reasonably well pocketed. And then I can start thinking seriously about exploring the wonderful European countries. And yes, I would definitely like to do that. I was talking to a chap the other day who came to the yard, who he took a trip, he drove to Norway. And that's quite a long way. I think he said it took him 2 days. And I'd like to do that. Although Norway and any of the other Nordic countries, you couldn't really visit them in the winter. You'd have to go during the summer when there's not as much snow, because I just see the size of somewhere like Norway compared to the size of the UK. And if you wanted to drive from one end of Norway to the other, I think it'd probably take you about 3 days, 4 days, maybe 5. I don't know. 6 if you have a breakdown. And not only that, surely there won't be a great deal of coverage for cars being broken down in places like that in the first place. So if you did break down in the freezing cold wilderness of the frozen desert, then you need to get some sort of recovery. How long would it take? In this country, your car breaks down. It takes like an hour to get the recovery people there in the first place. And then if you need relay, you're probably waiting another hour. So you're like 2 hours. 2 hours when the place is completely full of cars everywhere. Now, if you're 100 miles away from the nearest person who has a tow truck, what's going to happen then? You're going to be in trouble, aren't you? Steve Hull retract his message. Right. All right, now say we go again. Right, let's have a look at this. Kalam Media Channel from Egypt. Kalam. Should I just call you Kalam? Would that be okay? Kalam, and I'll try and remember. I will try and remember. Welcome with some of this. Welcome, yes, you're most welcome. No, definitely. You were born in 1970, asks Howie. Yes, I was. Now, did I tell you this, or did you guess? Alan Partridge found ladyboys confusing. He did, yeah. Yeah, he did. He also found them strangely arousing as well. That's true. Watch Alan Partridge and you'll find out. Do you guys have a Dodge Ram or Ford 150 in the UK? We do actually. There's not that many of them about. But you can buy things like that here, and they're just a bit too big. They're just a bit too big for our roads. You have to learn to drive looking in your mirrors in this country, because the roads are much narrower and much more bendy. Much more bendy indeed. So a really big car. It's not so much cities or how you get to a city, but when you get out into the countryside, then the roads become a lot narrower. And something like a Dodge Ram, if you met another one coming the other way on a normal B road, you'd both have to slow down quite a bit so you didn't knock each other's mirrors off. That's the kind of thing. That's the problem. The company of Henry Ford is long gone. Ford's shocking now. Well, why is it shocking? I can't say that I'm a fan of Ford at all. I'm not going to pretend to be a fan of Ford. Why should I pretend to be a fan of Ford? I'm not a fan of Ford. So, but is it really that bad? When was the best time for Ford? You and Boaty are turning me to drink, says Steecle. Don't blame me, Steecle. You're the one that goes on your whiskies and your Jack Daniels and stuff like that whilst on a live stream getting utterly rat-faced. Not me. Don't blame me, Steve. I've had a cup of tea. That's what was in there, a cup of tea. A very nice cup of tea, of which I do fancy having another one of in a moment. And you never know, I might just treat myself. How we know? How we know? Yes, you mean? Yes. Yes, we do. Know what? See, confusing each other. How amazing is that? Chemistry and paleontology are my favourite subjects, say Goofy. And yes, cool. I like them. Chemistry is really important. Chemistry, without understanding how things actually are, constructed, then we can't really make much progress, can we? Oh gosh, yeah, that reminds me of having an argument with Boaty in the car, and he said that aluminium wasn't a metal. Just in case he doesn't leave that in his video, he was arguing that aluminium is not a metal. Cat in a box and a Scottish flag from Steecle. That's very nice. Thank you very much. I enjoy the cats in boxes that you always seem to offer. Wonderful. Rama Ahmad. Yes. Now, is that what you're saying, or is that what your name? And again, because it's a bit confusing with this, I don't actually know. But welcome to the live stream. Please press like. We do have a Ford Ranger. I've seen a Dodge Ram. I've seen a couple of Dodge Rams, and they're a lot bigger than the Ranger. Tyler Kennedy, I dropped my phone in the canal, so I had to get a new one on Saturday. Ah, right, I see. Yes, you dropped your phone and you assumed that the live streams would still be going on, but they haven't. How inconvenient is that? That must be one of the things that, of all the wonderful things about living on the canal, suddenly you found the one thing that makes it rather unpalatable. And that is, if you drop your phone, not only may you break it, but it's definitely going to drown. So you can't use it after that, can you? You can't use it because the electrical circuitry bits, if they, short out because of getting wet, it's going to ruin it. Or if you drop it in the canal and it's going to sink anyway. So not only will it be ruined, but you'll have lost it as well. You can't get worse than that, can you? I'm sorry to hear that, Tyler. Oh, Ford Rangers are too small. Does the UK have Asian cars? Yes. The UK is very, very keen on one thing we don't really have these days very much of is British cars, which is a real shame. But we have German, French, Italian, not too many Italian cars, Japanese and Malaysian cars. And what else do we have? I'm sure there's something else. There's probably something else as well, but I can't remember what it is, so I can't tell you what it is. I do apologise. I've joined the RAC the night before, says Johnny, the new metal Viking. And that is, of course, very, very sensible indeed. In fact, I've had breakdown cover pretty much constantly for the past 30 years. Because although I may have an idea myself on how to fix something, if you have a component that actually completely breaks, what are you going to do? Nobody drives around, not very many people drive around with a boot full of spares for their car, and then the tools and the trolley jack and everything else that's needed in order to fit that particular part that you wasn't expecting to go wrong. You need, a boot full of you'd need everything that you've got in the car, wouldn't you? And also then you could do with, lights, jackets, waterproof gear, all these kind of things. Whereas if you just have breakdown cover, then if it breaks down, you let somebody else deal with it. And that's what you pay your money for. It's one of those things, isn't it, that you don't really get value for money if you don't use it, but you don't want to use it. If you have breakdown cover and you never use it, you've not had good value for money, but you're probably happier because of it. Now, years and years back, I had a BMW 318, an E30, and for a little while, pretty much every weekend it would break and another sensor would go in it somewhere. And I've found the BMW E30 to be, in my experience, a very unreliable car. But the breakdown company, I think it was AA I was with at the time, they carried on relaying me home until at one point they wrote to me and said, if your car keeps breaking down, we're going to have to put your premium up. Anyway, it didn't after that. I love Aston Martin and 1970s Jaguars, say Howie. Of course you do. We all do. We should do. If you don't like them, then you don't really like cars. Boatsy's got me thinking of making my own candles. Molds and stuff Has he? Has he, Steve? Well, that would be quite possibly fascinating. There are no big British, no, there aren't no big British car owners anymore. They've all gone. So we basically, the British car industry was wiped out by trying to be keeping up with the somebody else, keeping up with thinking that the German marks were all much better and aspiring to something else. And then suddenly, you get a certain types of people that can influence everybody else, and then no, you don't want a British car, you want one of these instead. And because, as usual, too many people, the majority of people follow rather than lead, the British car industry went tits up. Okay, that's really how I see it. It's not completely without fault, but we didn't exactly support it, did we? In case you didn't know. No, in fact, I would say that the British car industry was ruined by British people, and I find it a bit embarrassing. Oh, good, Johnny. Good, well done, New Metal Viking, Johnny Crook. Thank you very much. I'll be representing Project Nigel with my T-shirt at the North Craven Judo Tournament this weekend. My retirement as my knee is being repaired. Oh, thank you very much. Neil Madrid says, can you notice me? I can notice you. Yes, I can. I have noticed you. Thank you. No instrument, lunatic, onions, and entitled to work shy. Right, I see. No investment, lunatic unions. Right, okay, let's go for this. Right. No investment? Yeah. Lunatic unions? Yes, I agree. And entitled work shy? Yes. Well, that's what the unions made the workers into. People that wanted to have the money but didn't want to go to work to actually earn it. They just this is my rights, this is it, and basically, if you're not going to give me everything I want, then I'm not going to do as I am told. Awful. Are you a city guy or town? Well, I don't live in a city. I live reasonably close to a town, but I prefer. Oh, right, hang on. Yeah, are you a city guy or a town? Yeah, no, town then, really. I'm not even in a town, I'm further away. I don't live in a town. When was the last British cars to rule UK? Gosh, that really was a long time ago. I'll tell you what, I'm going to answer that whilst I start making another cup of tea to help me keep the movement of my tongue and jaw. Stop it from giving up. I think the true answer to that question is actually the 70s. The 70s could have been a very, very great moment for the British car industry, but as has already been pointed out, unions ruined it. Unions, people just striking, that's the start, I would say, for many of us, and all the whole woke movement. Not actually that, but that kind of attitude that brought it in, where people become entitled, people were more concerned about what they were getting rather than what they were putting in. And of course, yeah, we're all naturally reasonably selfish, aren't we? That's the human race, is to be a bit selfish. But there's a part of it that should be giving as well. And that giving part seemed to disappear. And of course, that's what happens when you start having unions fighting for the rights. Yes, sure enough, we should have good working conditions. But they weren't doing it for that. They were doing it so they could have a day off. In this country, British engineering used to be a fantastic thing. We used to have some really good ideas on the go. Car design, lots of British Leyland, a company that's considered, a company, a car manufacturer that should ever be part of a punchline. They actually had they had loads and loads of good ideas, loads of really clever design ideas, but it didn't really work because the people building the things weren't really that arsed about it. That's really it. Excuse me while I make my cup of tea. My ears are hot. My ears are hot. I'm having one of those hot ear days. Now, what causes that, do you reckon? Why is it some days you have hot ears? But they are really hot. Maybe it's because I feel ever so slightly annoyed whilst talking about the British car industry. That could be it. I was born in 1982, says the guy from SETI Alpha 5. At Strider 920HM. Hello. Bendy. More message retractions from Tyler Kennedy. Doing too well with this tonight, actually. And Tyler Kennedy is different tonight than normal. Not the same humorous self. Maybe it's because you're just getting used to your phone. I like Dodge and GMC or Chevy, says Howie. Yes, Ford are shocking now, especially those with the eco boom engines. Well, yeah, it's a stupid idea, isn't it? A really stupid idea. Having the wet timing belt. What possible benefit can there be from that? I don't actually understand it. Maybe I need to read about it and find out. I need to read about it or talk to someone who has one, who likes them, or is a fan of them, that will actually defend it and say, no, this is the way to go with this all. Is that whiskey or your Jack Daniels, Steeklug? I'll be in Hebden Bridge tomorrow, says Tyler. That's rather fabulous. And of course, that isn't too far away from me. So you've turned the canal barge around and started going the other way. Or do you not turn them around? Can they just go either way? I've never been on one. I've just seen lots of them. If you're going to be staying in Hebden Bridge, let me know and I'll come and say hello to you. The last big British owner manufacturer was British Leyland, formerly BMC. The cars Mustard likes. Well, the last one you could say is Rover, because obviously they were the survivors of British Leyland, weren't they? And Jaguar. The Jaguar only really sort of got their foot caught in the door by British Leyland, and then managed to wriggle free and go off and back to doing their own thing. Still with a tarnished reputation. These days they're owned by Ford, which, well, is reliable. Is it? I mean, is Land Rover as reliable now as it used to be, or is it actually worse? Guten Tag, says Germany. Welcome. Right. So what's that? I don't really know how to say that without getting it wrong. Strider 920. Nabend. Right. Okay. Oh, there's a good idea. Why don't we all start speaking German? Barry says, we have a Dodge Ram 2500. It's a brute 6.7 Cummins diesel. Is that 6.7 Cummins diesel? That they do sound rather amazing, actually, those big diesel engines. They sound really exceedingly naughty. They sound exceedingly naughty and dangerous, and like they're going to set your beard on fire if you're not careful. Is British Bulldog most popular in the UK? In the UK? In the UK? No, it's not. Now, the British Bulldog is seen somewhat as an icon of Britain, isn't it? But no, they don't really see that many of them. Most popular dogs always used to be just mongrels when I was growing up. And then suddenly dogs weren't allowed out in the streets. But in the 70s, and obviously before that, in the 70s and 80s, it just seemed to be, if you had a dog and it wanted to go out, you just opened the door and let it go. And off it wandered off, it took itself for a walk, you didn't know what it was getting up to, and then it just tootled on back maybe 10 minutes later. It's amazing the amount of people that used to do that, and everybody was perfectly relaxed about it. Of course, now, nobody lets their dog, you never see a dog wandering around the streets by itself. And that's why, when you do walk around the streets and you see dog poo, you know that somebody's actually walked their dog, watched it do that on the floor, and then just carried on going anyway. I have a look around, see if anyone's looking. No, they're not. Right, I'm on my way. But yeah, popular dogs then. Staffies are very popular dogs. But these days, dogs, just like buying German cars, they've become fashionable to own certain types of dogs, and really the toy dogs that become the sausage dogs, the French poodles, all these kind of things that, I mean, yeah, they're little creatures. They can be quite cute. They can be nice, I'm sure. But they're not proper dogs. No. Not in my world. Howie, I guess the last time the British-owned car manufacturer ruled the UK, say it's Carl Burton, was the 70s, maybe early 80s. Japanese and German imports were more reliable, put together, and you didn't have to 8 months after placing your order. Yes, that's true. That is true. My eye's hurting a little bit. Jamal is here. Hello, Jamal. To 8 months, right. My phone is still on in Stanley Ferry in Wakefield. Oh, is it? Right. So what are you using then? Chinese cars, I suppose, says Dick Dastardly. Are you cooking tonight? Asks Steve. Oh, and Korean. Yes, Korean, that's the other one, yes. Well, I might just do some... Why can I never remember what this thing is called? That's it, Madras meatballs. A few weeks back, I made Madras meatballs by mistake, just using the Madras curry powder, which I normally wouldn't think is something that goes with meat. Well, I mean, not meat, just meatballs. They don't have to be balls, they could be meat sausages. Yeah, there could be rolled up little turd-shaped sausages, but taste of Madras. So I could get the meat out, put loads of this on, scrumple it all up everywhere, and then make some shapes out of it. Maybe I could do a selection of different shapy meatball things, and then make some sort of yogurty, dippy thing. That would look weird, wouldn't it? Do you imagine having a meatball, like a cylinder meatball, looks like a turd, dipping it in yogurt? Well, that's probably what I'm going to do. But I haven't entirely decided just yet, because I'm not hungry yet. But you can bet it's going to happen. You can bet it's got to happen, hasn't it? It will do. It is going to. It will do. Definitely will happen, yes. Aren't German cars or Japanese cars expensive to fix? I mean, more. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yeah. And now, speaking of, and we are still speaking of this, that the golden age of car reliability was not the 80s, the 90s. And that's when the German cars and the Japanese cars were very, very reliable. These days, even the Japanese are kind of going off a bit, aren't they? with Nissan. Nissan teamed up with Renault. Not that I think Renault's particularly bad, but they become average for reliability, whereas they used to be better than average. BMW used to be, mind you, then again, like I had, well, it was actually an 80s BMW that was always breaking down. I don't think they changed that much, but then that's my experience. Other people may have a completely different experience altogether, just like I have with Rover. Now, I answered a comment before from a video saying something about the K series being just, the cars were good, but the engine was terrible. I thought, well, it's not terrible really. It's not actually a terrible engine, but you do have to look after it. You have to, if you look after it, it will be okay. And it baffles me really the amounts of people that want a car that they don't have to look after, and somehow that makes it better because you don't have to look after it. So it's like, well, why do people have children then? Because you have to look after them, or old people. Why, you wouldn't be annoyed with your grandmother if she broke a hip because you pushed her down the stairs, would you? You'd know it was your fault. But that's the mentality of this, I reckon, of not looking after something and then blaming the thing because it's broken. I used to be fluent in German. I lived in Osnabrück as a kid. Dad was stationed there within the army, says Barry. Maybe he's not cooking. Maybe that's the twist. Well, Emma, I probably will be cooking in a bit. I've got to really, because I need to do something other than just read comments out, because all I'm doing is making my face hurt with the reading thing. It's never going to be right, this, is it? It's never going to be right. Oh, and while camping on Saddleworth Moor, not much wood about, says Steve. Denise Maiden. I went to a restaurant today and there was a kid throwing chicken nuggets all over the place. Okay, and Denise, are you saying that child was throwing chicken nuggets about all over the place and nobody was saying you shouldn't be doing that? It's just, no, it's fine. He does it all the time. That's what he does with them. Most people eat their chicken nuggets, but little Caden here doesn't. No. We're giving chicken nuggets and he flings them. But we paid for them, so it's fine. He can do what he likes with them. Could it be like that? I love a wild camp. Sadly, Saddleworth Moor is famous for all the wrong reasons, says Barry. Well, yes, it is, isn't it? But besides that, it's a fabulously interesting and barren place. Dan Peters. Evening, Captain Mustard. Good evening, Dan. Welcome to the live stream. I'm in Van Gogh Sabre 200. I don't know what that is, Steekel. The UK is more rich than the US. In Canada, you guys should make your own cars more. Well, yeah. Unions ruin the car industry. And I read that as onions before, didn't I? And yeah, they did. I reckon the unions are probably more responsible for ruining the car industry than anybody else, really. Yeah. I mean, there's no way that the Japanese would have had that kind of work ethic where they'd stand around and complain about a condition rather than just getting on with it. Red Robbo and Tony Ben have a lot to answer for. Red Robbo, hang on. Just trying to think of who we are by Red Robbo. Yeah, there were quite a few of them that were a problem. Anyway, Skick is here. Hi, Mustard, your best mate here. Well, that's very, very welcoming of you. Thank you very much, Skick. Stephen Fitzmaurice, welcome. I've got a mint Metro Vanden Pla or Plus. I still don't know. I always call it Pla, but some say it is Plus. So you decide. My pride and joy. Need to drive it down to your yard. Be a good review? Yes. Yes, it would. Now, of course, I've had a Metro review. The well, it's actually a Rover 100, a Rover 114, but a Metro Vanden Pla, yes. You would be most welcome to bring that down, and I'll do a lovely video on it. And I will gloss over anything that I don't think's that good. Now, I'll point it out, but I would still very, very much like to do it. I want to drive that car, so please do. But do organise it first so I can make sure I'm in. Skip. Shall I sub? Asks Alfie. Yeah, you should. You should subscribe and like the live stream. It'll make your life feel much better. Hello, Emma, says Skik. It's weird not having a phone for a few days, and only so many times you can. It's back to normal. Only so many times you can count your pubes. Well, I suspect that you haven't counted them all, because you would, well, I mean, ideally you probably need some way of actually putting them somewhere else, to make sure you wasn't, counting anything twice. You could have a marker pen, and you could just have areas, areas about that big that you count. Take it seriously, okay? You do that. Draw up like a graph. Get your pen and paper out. And then in section 1, you could call it A1, A1, A2, A3, and then B, C, D, E, etc. And that would be exactly how you would find out how many pubes you do actually have. By the time you finish that, you might be quite bored, though. That's the only thing. Shall I sub? Asks Alfie. Yes, you should, Alfie. Yes, you should. Yes. UK are really big Bond fans. Well, yeah, generally, yeah. Everybody likes talking to Skik. I've noticed this quite a lot. Skik comes in, it lights up the room. It's like the party doesn't start until Skik turns up, isn't it? It is brilliant, brilliant. Thank you. Not bad, Barrymore. Not much happening. Really boring. Oh gosh. Are electric cars catching on? They're catching on. Or is that a joke? As in, like, are they catching fire in Britain? Yeah, they are. They are quite a problem with this. Although it doesn't happen that often, but when it does happen, it's a disaster, and that's what everybody's afraid of. They caught on. They become popular, but we're kind of all getting wise to them. And many, many people are saying, I don't want an electric car. I don't want one. I don't see why I should have to have one. And they're not. Well, it's a lot of nonsense. Electric cars aren't better for the environment than petrol cars. There isn't an argument there that proves that they're better. It just proves the opposite, in fact. Rub your hands together, says Classic Britain, because I am going to buy your 420 GSI in a couple of weeks. Oh yeah. A couple of weeks, the V8 was nice, but no idea how much to tax. Really, you had no idea? Oh gosh, really? What was about £700, something like that, to tax that? Yeah. Well, yeah, that's value, isn't it? That's the value of tax, road tax. Now, obviously, a V8, 4.6 litre V8, not the biggest V8 going, but it's going to be, it's going to chuck out some more emissions than a 3-cylinder Toyota Aygo. But does it really chuck out that much more to make that much difference? I would imagine a car like that would be something like 3 or maybe 4 times as polluting as a really small city car. Yet it doesn't cost 3 or 4 times the amount of tax, does it? No, It costs infinitely more because the Toyota Aygo probably doesn't even have to pay tax at all. Anyway, welcome to the live stream, Sheldon. Don't forget to like. Shades Beats $35. Hey, what's good, chat? Everything's good. Everything's good. Mohammed, hi, little cookie. Oh, Christ, it's Sheldon. It is. It is. It is. I love cookies. Well, that's good news. Yo, yeah, everybody's saying hello to Sheldon now, and as you would do. Oh, well, look who else is here. Look who Simone from Hooked on Classics is here as well. Hooked on Classics. Hi, it's Simone. And everybody's saying hello to Simone as well, including Emma Lemons. Emma Lemons. Girl, Dad cooking up deliciousness. Happy Taco Tuesday, Mustard and everyone in chat. Happy Tuesday. Who thinks my Madras meatballs and strange yogurty sauce would be a good one then? Meatballs in all sorts of different shapes that will be cause confusion and wonderment to all. That's what I might do in about 10 minutes. I remember white dog eggs, says Simone, and I do too. Yes. And those kind of dog poos, I never imagined they'd be quite as toxic either. Because you these like funny little white poos everywhere. And you notice them crumbling. They didn't just melt and just smear across the pavement. They just crumble. It's like they were made of chalk. And I think that's what it was. They had a high calcium content in them. And so they would crumble. I've still got a cup of tea. I shouldn't be doing that now. Yes. Crumbly white turds on the streets of Britain. That'd make a great title, wouldn't it, for this live stream? Or a band, maybe. Best band names. Band names, they're a bit like the YouTube names. If I was to open up a new YouTube channel now, or open up a band, have a band, I would say exactly that. Crumbly white turds of the UK streets. It's got a good ring to it, hasn't it? Can imagine anybody being rather curious by that and thinking, I need to check that out. So I'm going to. Oh, yes. What amazing thing will be under the cover of this particular bit of art? Oh, there's your artwork for you as well. Just a plain old white dog turd crumbling slightly on the edges so that it's got some purpose for the name. And it'd sell, wouldn't it? Come on. Matt's Finish Photography. Hi, Mustard. What have you cooked or making? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do my Madras meatballs. And we're still talking about turds, by the way. So, yes, turdy, meaty things. Turdy, meaty things. Yes, that's it. Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna save that bit there because I'm particularly pleased with that. I'll be doing that quite soon. I'll be in Hebden Bridge for a week or two, says Tyler Kennedy. Now that is plenty of time, isn't it? But where would you go after that? Where would you go after Hebden Bridge? Would you come to Todmorden? Would you then go to Littleborough? Would you then go to the next stop would be? Nobody stops in Rochdale. Don't know why. Strange, isn't it? Here in the desert, we have coyotes. Make good pets if you catch them while they're young. Lots of wild animals make great family pets if you catch the young ones. And that's a rather interesting observation by Stephen S. Paul, which I can't really see where it's related to, except possibly the turds. But I do like it anyway, and thank you very much. Madison Cooper, WTF. Well, that's informative. Yeah, WTF. Excellent. Yeah, very good. Good contribution. Make sure you like the live stream. Steve Perry. Evening Mustard, have you seen my new addiction? addition to the fleet. Rover 800 Sterling KV6. I didn't need it, but I wanted it. I've seen a picture, but to be honest, I didn't know that you didn't already have it. So it didn't occur to me that this is a new car and that you will be all excited by it. So excited your beard is melting. And now you've got another car to look after and another 800 as well. That means, well, you're the man that knows how to get to the bottom of all these electrical gremlins, aren't you? But 2 sets of gremlins, could it be too much? Or is it going to be just right? I am making chicken noodle soup, but the cheating way, says Simon. Can have soup and noodles. Yes, well, the invention is thinking of the idea of actually just putting the two things together, isn't it? Because that's what all cooking ever is. It's taking one thing and putting something else as well. So that's still cooking. That's good. I like it. Well done. Madison Cooper says, lol. And that, I know, is laugh out loud, and I hope that you're laughing for the right reasons. Mixed onions. Are you the purveyor of battered sausage variety? Well, no, I'm not. In fact, I think a battered sausage is a terrible idea, and there's nothing funny about that. And I will not be having a battered sausage probably ever. But now I'm thinking about it, I want one. So maybe I'll have one soon. Tyler says, mustard last spotted cutting catalytic converter off in Asda car park. Yeah, I borrowed your saw. Do you reckon Boaty could cook a better omelette than you? Well, that's something to be seen, isn't it? Now, there's a point. Something I was thinking about last night whilst I was watching his live stream. Because obviously we have done, on so many an occasion, Mustard and Boaty do lunch. We should do Mustard and Boaty cook lunch. And I'd be really up for that. I would be very much up for that. I would be up for the challenge of trying to outdo him, and he would do the same thing too. The only thing is, we're both exceedingly stubborn, and probably neither of us would admit to each other when we think the other's done a better job. Or, not publicly. Not publicly. I'm learning to have to do a bit more that kind of thing as well. I saw a picture he posted on the Rover 600 group on Facebook, where he posted a picture of the 600 as it was with me pulling it out. And then a couple of days later, once he'd washed it as well, and said that he'd saved it from the yard and this is how he's transformed it, and mentioned that saved from the yard and MOT and stuff like that. And all the people reading this were thinking, oh, brilliant, well done, mate, well done. Yes, you've saved his car. No, he hasn't. I MOT'd it and I cleaned it, and then he took it home and cleaned it a bit more. Asians in Canada buy only Asian cars. Talk about loyalty. Only saw one maybe in my driving a Ram. Petros edits. Name a famous pommy for an edit. Name a famous pommy for an edit. Please, don't forget the please. I don't do things without some sort of gratitude being shown. No. It goes a long, long way. Everybody has to learn that. Okay. Dean Diggins, nice glasses. Where did you get them? I got them out of my case. Carl Burton, the most effective vote we have is the one made by our wallets. He got the glasses from Boots, says Petro. And that is correct, actually. I did actually get them from Boots. On prescription. We made plenty of cars in the UK, but the manufacturers are foreign owned, maybe even Morgan. I'm not sure. I don't know about Morgan, actually. It's Vanden Pla. I had this talk with Tom Drives. Yeah, okay, so I have always pronounced it Van den Pla as well. So I wonder why there's so much confusion about it. It's a good night to be with you all. Under the stars, I can see the stars, we all. Ah, what a lovely camping evening. Hi, Emma. Sorry I missed you. Oh. Baz should be the E pronounced Porsche. Ah, right. So do we say Porsche or Porsche? And that's another good question, actually. A very good question, in fact, Skip. Thank you. Because I think that there becomes a bit of snobbery around the way you pronounce car names. Porsche, that's how we've always pronounced it here. But then Porsche, that's how they say it there. We should say it the same. But we speak a different language. Citroen, that's how we say Citroen, not Citroen. Citroen. Unless you're doing a French accent, it doesn't work at all. Citroen. It just we don't have words like that. We don't have words that are do we? That's just not Great Britain. So we have indeed said the word our way, which is kind of a bit stubborn, maybe a bit arrogant. But what should we stick with it or not? Who reckons we should say Citroen as Citroen or Citroen? Same goes for who else? Dacia. Even in their own adverts, remember the Dacia Sandero with voiced by Ralph Innes. He called it Dacia originally, and they obviously approved it. They said, "Yep, that's fine. That's fine, Ralph. Thanks, Finchy. You've done a great job of this. Now here's your bonus. Off you go to the pub." But that's what they said. But they was thinking, yeah, that tall man can't do this properly. We need to teach Britain how to say our company name, and they did. So we probably have that on a 50-50, and that's one of those companies that nobody really even cared about, and they can do it. Yeah, there's a ramble, wasn't it? The EVs are combusting, but you're not allowed to talk about it. Road tax is designed to kill good old cars. It's working. Yes, it is awful. And that is the problem. So many actual, good, perfectly working cars, ever since the first scrappage scheme, which was like 20 years ago, maybe even a bit more, just designed to get rid of stuff off the road so that were perfectly good in the first place, to replace it with something new. And how many people still fall for it? Quite a lot. Sheldon, yes, Sheldon. That's classic Britain, if you don't know. Stephen S. Paul, electric cars are quite hard to sell second-hand at the moment. Even harder to scrap because most scrapyard owners will simply turn them away. We deal with people who strip the batteries, etc. before we get them. Cole Fletcher. Hi, I'm new. Am I late? Well, technically, I suppose you could say that you're late, but as you are new, you're not. Because, well, for one thing, honestly, nobody's late. Nobody has to turn up for a live stream. You turn up if you want to. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to be here. I'm not going to fall out with anyone. But you can't be late if this is the first time you turned up anyway, can you? No, because you didn't know about it beforehand. Depends on how you use the word. If you're describing a car on its own without, it's in relation to something else, how you pronounced it. It's a German language. It's a bit funny like that. At least they don't have that le and la crap like in French, says the guy from SETI Alpha 5, also known as Barry. Charlotte Calliston is here. Hello, Charlotte. Hope you are well. I am. I'm perfectly well. I'm perfectly well except for struggling with my eyes. That problem's never going to go away though, is it? I'm just far enough away to get Wi-Fi from while camping. So we all know too much. We all know there's no such thing as satellites. That's a rather that's quite a bit of confliction in there, Steve Cole. I'm not really sure what it is that you're trying to say. Cole Fletcher, I'm new. Am I late? I love your stream, and you're the best streamer I've seen in the world. Oh, that is cool. I love that. Thank you. If that's how you feel, don't forget to do the like, do the subscribe, do the tell everyone about it, because you never know, they might like it too. Sabrina Quinton, I'm sorry, I've missed your live streams. Well, now Sabrina, I've not done one for a few days, so maybe you've missed them because I haven't done one. That's the easiest way to miss them. You can never feel sorry about that. But thank you for actually being concerned. No name. No, I'm not going to read that one out, obviously. That no name is it's not even a joke, is it? It's just trying to trick the host into saying something that you think might be hilarious. It's not even hilarious, it's not even funny. But, no offense taken, no offense needed to be taken. Welcome to the live stream. Now say something funny. Rover Joe is here. Rover Joe, my friend from York with the rather unusual coloured hair. Welcome. And everybody says hello to Rover Joe because Rover Joe is well known by the people who know me. Tyler Kennedy says, I've got a band name for you. Dirty Dick Dave and the Dirty Dick Dave and the Donkey Snatchers. Dirty Dick Dave and the Donkey Snatchers. Dirty Dick Dave and the Donkey Snatchers. Brew Moment 76 is here. Hello, I don't think I recognise that name. Just farted and it reeks. That's often the case, really. You could have got away with it as well. I reckon if you'd not have told anyone, we wouldn't know. But now we know. You've got rotten guts. Sorry. Bet it won't smell as bad as mine, says Rover Joe. Whoa. I've actually seen a chicken eat noodles once. Most car YouTubers know Simone. She is maybe one of the most respected people on the YouTube channels. Well, yes, Skick. British-made cars, simply the finest in the world, says Charlotte Calliston. Well, I'm a fan of British cars, but I'm not going to say I really agree with that. But I would say British-made cars, possibly the most endearing and characterful cars, and perfectly reliable. Lucy McCran, can you say my name? Can you say hi, Lucy? I can. Hello, Lucy. Welcome to the live stream. Kay, you all right, pal? Yes, I am. Are you? Aiden, what fish you got, fella? Well, I have a selection of tropical fish in the background. They're all happily swimming around and having fun, hopefully. Are they having fun? Yes, they are. Yeah. They never stop. They just carry on going. They have a great time in there. Oh, right. Okay. Hello. Right. Rosie Cheeks. Now, I can never remember your name. It's Ben, isn't it? I'm sure it's Ben. And I should know because you've been a channel member on my other channel as well, but I do get names a bit mixed up after a while. Alberto Florin Bolentis, hello. Boaty needs to go home earlier. Night all. Okay, Steve, excellent. Evening all the mustardettes. Aidan says, must spend a decent bit on conditioner. What, for the tank? Benjamin Gomin, noob, don't know. Is that another acronym for something? Is that fish behind you? Asks Maisie K. Yes, there are fish behind me. No, God, please, no, says Benjamin. Well, that's certainly very interesting. Cakes, anyone? That's a lovely name, actually. Thank you very much for joining. A message retracted. That could be because you changed your mind or whatever. I don't know. Maisie K. Excuse me. Hello. Theme park. Lol. Oh no, theme park. No man bun today. I don't have a man bun. Oh no. No. Your meatballs sound very exciting. I hope you start them soon, says Emma. Yeah, well, maybe I should start them soon. Otherwise it'll be time to just go, won't it? I'm going to see if I can catch up with these comments and then I'll start doing some meatballs and meaty thingies. The term déjà vu is an English term pronounced in a French way. Déjà vu. That's an interesting one, actually, that. Benjamin's slightly unnecessary comments there. I can't sleep today, so says Sam. So we're what? Right, okay, never mind. Welcome, Sam. Welcome back. Huntingdon, hi, how are you? Hello. You have road tax in the UK, asks Howie. Politicians scheming to make money. We pay for our government to run an agency for car insurance. Someday in Canada, they'll start to tax it another way. Oh, of course they will. Mustard, last spotted, coming out of Rochdale Police Station, having been looked up for a few days on a ram raid on a cash machine. Yeah, I'm going to do better than that. Mama Pross, can you say hi to me? Yes, I can. Hello. Happy Tiddy Tuesday, brother, says Julio Garcia. Newbie, pro-professional. I know, Sam. I just like to tease. How about chocolate salty balls? Asks Dick Dastardly. Well, chocolatey meatballs. Is that what you mean? I've got some cocoa powder that would probably work, but you know, quite often I'll do something in the kitchen that's a bit experimental. Tonight I'm going to do the opposite, where I'm just going to do something I know exactly will work. I'm not even going to spend ages making it because there's no need. I'm not even going to have garlic. I'm not even going to have onion. I'm just going to simply have meat and spices. There's enough oil in the meat to cook them in that. So it's 2 ingredients. 2 ingredients. Then I can start messing around with some yogurty stuff, and then it becomes something a bit more complicated. But, you know, I don't need that bit, do I? Yes, we have road tax used to help pay for the roads. But then it became a cash cow, and now is used to coerce people into cars the government wants us to have, says Carl Burton. Yeah, exactly. And that was very, very well put. The thin end of the wedge is to get us out of cars completely. What do you think about inflation? Asks Huntington. Well, I think it's brilliant with balloons. That's where inflation is a magnificent thing, and without inflation, they couldn't really happen. Or at least they couldn't happen to the extent where you'd actually want them. And brilliant as well. Imagine if balloons, you could only buy balloons that had already been inflated. They become quite expensive because, you know, they're nothing more than just air. It's a tax. Oh, yeah, sorry, I just can't help it. I have to say something like that, don't I? Are the usual views busy? Also greedy? Yeah. Well, no. The views have disappeared. I had my little run with the algorithm where it favoured me for about a week, and then it's decided to not bother any longer. I've been doing some welding, says Joe, and that's good. Well, in 1971, 25 quid was a week's wage. It's worth about 400 now. I don't know. Inflation is useful for certain man bits too. Yes, yes, indeed. Right. So there we go. That is me having caught up with all of those comments there, which now means I'm allowed to do the cooking thing. Only 1 hour and 15 minutes in. Lucky I don't feel particularly hungry. Isn't it? Yeah. There we go, a slab of meat. This is the cheap stuff from Lidl, and I mean it is cheap. It's really cheap. That's about £2.39, something like that for that. Now it doesn't look, well, what meat does look nice? Meat doesn't look nice. It only looks nice if it's been decorated. Decorated. Oh, I've got loads of onions in there as well, so it seems a shame I'm not going to use any. But I just don't want to. I've just really got a thing tonight about making something that's really, really unbelievably simple. And that's what's going to happen. Wash the gaps. Wash the dap dab. Dabby dab dab. Wash the dap dab. Dabby dabby dab. Whoa! And then to keep a... Well, that's a new one as well, actually. You look like a girl. What kind of girls have you seen before then? And most girls don't really have beards or Adam's apples. Maybe you're rather inexperienced. Yeah, I'll explain it. Unless your mum looks like me. Maybe your mum has a beard. That sounds like I'm making fun of ladies with beards, but I'm not. You know, it's not funny. Unless, you think it is. And I don't. Right, so there we have a spoonful of meat. Right. Oh, Skik, would this Monday night be okay if I go straight to... Would this Monday night be okay with you to do the night in the caravan? What? You want me to do the night in the caravan this Monday? With you, Skik? And then another one. And then another one. I'm actually just putting these in the pan at the moment for convenience of not having to do a bit more washing up. So I'm going to do 5. Now they're not so much balls at the moment as globs. Globs of meat. Globs of uncooked meat. What I'm going to do is, let's turn this around here a little bit. I'm going to simply sprinkle lots and lots of this inside the pan and then dab it and roll it and dab it and roll it, etc. until it soaks the spicy mix up. Oh yes, that's quite a bit better. So first piece, squash it in there. Squash it on the other side as well, and then do that. So make this one a nice and simple meat cubes. That was it. Rather than having balls, which of course they're called meat balls. That's really impractical. Meat balls, they roll around all over the place, whereas a cube doesn't. So a meaty Meaty spicy cube. That's one. That's one just there. The next one, I'm going to turn this one into a turd. Yeah. So a meaty turd. That won't roll around all over the place either too well. This one could be a burger shape or something even more exciting. How about a meaty donut? So I can just do that there and then turn this around like that. And oh well, it comes unstuck, so it's not really going to work. That's going to have to be that one can be the ball. So far we have a cube and a ball and a turd. Cubes and balls and turds. Oh, what other shapes can we have? How about a pyramid? Yeah, a three-sided or four-sided pyramid. Let's go for a four-sided pyramid because that's how many sides a pyramid has. So that makes it 5 sides actually, doesn't it? There we go. And then finally we have the last one. And it makes sense actually to, well, it's going to have to be a rectangle, isn't it? How well these shapes will stay once they've been cooked for a while, I don't know. Look at that, perfect rectangle. And what an entertaining set of meaty treats that we have inside this pan now. Very, very pleased. So, I'm going to go and wash my hands of spicy stuff. I'm going to cook this gently so it doesn't burn too much or spatter out everywhere and cause a sticky, greasy, oily mess, which I shall not be popular for doing. I don't want to do anything that makes me unpopular. Not at home anyway. Now, the least exciting part of this is about to happen, where we just simply see these not cooking, because I'm going to read some comments out instead. And then I'm going to make another cup of tea because I'm thirsty again. Wow, an hour and 23 minutes have gone by already. That is quite impressive. Let's read that again. Would this Monday be okay for you to do the caravan? You can stay there if you want to, Skip. That'd be fun, actually. Dwayne Wilson, what are you cooking? Was you not watching that part then? Maybe you was watching it, and now you know, so you don't have to ask again. Charlotte Calliston, this cut of meat is unlike anything they sell in my usual store. It's not a cut of meat, that's why. It's just mince. It's just minced meat. And with that, you can make it into any shape you like, as I've just proven. It's the shape of the future, of the meaty future in the kitchen. And then Skick says, can't stand hair hanging down when cooking. Well, Skick, you should have yourself a haircut then, because, you know, it's not a good idea really. You could get hair inside your food or somebody else's food, and that really wouldn't be good. It kind of seems a bit unpolite as well, or impolite, so yeah, that's the best thing to do. Ta-ta for now, Mustard. I need a shower. Okay, Simone, well. No, I'm not cooking chicken. I'm cooking meaty shapes. Ever tried matzo ball soup? Oh, matzo ball soup. What are you doing? Are you eating tomatoes again? No. Matzo ball soup. The mats are those white crackers. Is that the ones that we're talking about? What I've tried though is rolling this around a little bit so it doesn't get too stuck. That was a cabbage lion. I reckon I should have the window open because the smell of cooking hot cooking chili. I'll turn it right down actually. Very, very easy to burn. We don't want to burn anything, right? Well, I say we. I mean, I don't want to burn any of it, do I? But I do want another cup of tea, so I'm going to make myself one. And that'll be the third cup of tea in this live stream, which is quite impressive. Wouldn't you agree? You don't have to. How far have we gone at the moment? I was going to say that I don't want to go on too long tonight. I really don't, because I need to do some other things as well tonight. But I also don't want to just stop it while I'm having fun. So I'm going to cook these enough and then go and do something else. Ready for Boaty actually. Boaty. You know, Boaty? Hey Boaty. Hey Boaty. Hello, little Boaty. Good morning. Yes, we will be doing a live stream afterwards. Gosh, that was unexpected. Now, why hasn't Skik replied to me? I was expecting a telling off from Skik, but I think what he might have done is his usual trick of saying something and going away, so he didn't have to hear the answer. Smart move, very smart move indeed. Now, I do have to just simply pop upstairs just for a couple of minutes to say goodnight. But I will be back very, very soon. Bedtime. I'm back. I'm back indeed. Now, these will take another few minutes to cook properly because you don't want to eat raw meat. I don't anyway. So, another thing I mentioned whilst doing this was some sort of yogurty sauce thing. So I'm going to do that as well now. After I read out Sam's comment. Those are his... yes, Sam. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, they don't need to be any part of this, do they? So, yogurt. There's yogurt. There's a bowl. And what I'm going to do, very rather simply, is with a different spoon, of course, not the one that's got raw meat on it. You shouldn't dip yogurt into that. I'm going to just have a nice big heap spoon and a bit more. You'll see what I'm doing in just 1 second. Well, ooh. Right, spices out of the cupboard, and all I'm going to put in here is some cinnamon and coriander. And something else as well. Something else. Cinnamon, coriander. Put that away. And one other ingredient. Syrup. I'm only going to use a little bit of this. So what we actually have then is a really kind of sweet spiced yogurt. Now I would have preferred to use honey in syrup, but it is only a little bit, and so you can see that it doesn't really look that different. It's just a kind of a sauce. And actually, these are not really quite ready yet, anyway. Need another spoon. I'm just going to test that, just to see what that's like. That's going to work really well. Really very spicy meat shapes and a sweet yogurt sauce. The best thing is, it's not something I've ever done before properly. I've done the I've done the meat in that spice mix before, but I've never done any kind of sauce to go with it. Now then, let's see if anybody else is making comments for me to read out. And they are. Emotional Lover Boy. Emotional Lover Boy, that's a nice name. Yo, welcome, Emotional Lover Boy. Emma Lemon says, I always worry I won't cook my meatballs all the way through. How can you be sure they are thoroughly cooked? Well, that's an interesting question, and one that I should provide a sensible answer to. Cook them for longer. It's really, oh, that was falling apart. And that one's got, if they're cooked on a relatively low heat, then you can cook them for quite a while. You could actually try and find out whether there's a length of time that you should be cooking for, or you could use some sort of, thermometer probe. Or you could just cut one in half and see if it's red on the inside. If it's red on the inside, then it's not cooked, is it? Ah, cats meow. They do. Should I have a Philly cheesesteak sandwich? Philly is in the Philadelphia cheese? Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should. Because that does go well with meat, doesn't it? Smells good, says Emotional Lover Boy. It does actually. It does smell rather good indeed. Okay, right. So, Wealthy Mindset Frame says something rather offensive to Emotional Lover Boy. And because of that, I'm just going to put you on timeout. They're using up my time here to actually doing this. All right, hang on, 10 minutes. There we go. Now, and I'll tell you about. I've forgotten that name now. The thing. Anyway, a bit annoying. Something smells odd. It will do, cats. It will do. I can't remember the name of the person I've just put on timeout. Oh yeah, Wealthy Mindset. Wealthy Mindset. Okay, right. Wealthy Mindset is basically looking for, I think, people to scam. That's the impression I get by going on about how you can have money and how people aren't happy unless they've got money, and coming up with some really rather useless arguments. Now, that this is just a thought. It might not be the case, but it's just kind of a thing at the back of my head that's making me think there's something a bit dodgy going on there. So when you back off time out in 10 minutes, you can come back and explain yourself. But don't be rude to the other people in the chat, because that's not on. If you're going to be rude to somebody, be rude to me. 23 says Charlotte Caniston. Ah, right, okay. So, somebody came in just asking to do some sums. Use Pidmas, Bodmas. Subin says, hi. Hello, Subin. I always overcook it for fear. I will poison everyone. Low heat makes sense, though, says Ella. Where's your mod when you need her? Well, it's not been too bad tonight, really, has it? In actual fact, since the algorithm's not been spanking everybody's mobile phone with my live stream, it's not really going to be a problem. However, there's going to be a few things like this that I miss in the middle of a live stream whilst I'm catching up with comments. So, yeah. Just, yeah. Hey, wait, Emma is here, yeah. I think I will use my calculator for that problem. What do you think? I failed. Well, that's what calculators are for, isn't it? It seems like a lot of his normal viewers are busy today. They're not busy, they just don't know that I'm doing it. And my normal viewers are here, actually. It's what I don't have, the ones that aren't my normal viewers, the people that have never really been here before. Are you a secret Russian spy? Asks Cat's Meow. Well, I'll tell you, yes, I am. And that's how you know I'm not. Because if I was a secret Russian spy, then I would say no. So if I say yes, you can assume that I'm not. Okay? That's the problem. If I just want to be truthful about it and say no, I'm not, then you're going to assume that I am. So I best say yes. Yes, I am a secret Russian spy. Yeah, I know it was. Yeah, thank you, Sam. What's your thoughts on the boarding school for kids? Asks Charlotte. Oh, bye, Jimmy. He always does that. I don't even know he's here. Bye, Jimmy. I don't know really. I don't know. What age do they start boarding school? I mean, it's a way of making children grow up a bit more quickly, isn't it? You know, you have to get into the real world. But they do harbour a lot of bullying and you know, probably emotional problems for them as well. So there's going to be a mix of good and bad, just like going to comprehensive schools. Eight. Oh gosh, 8. Yeah. No. Personally, I wouldn't send my children off to boarding school. I'd miss them too much. That's the real answer to that. Is I really would do. I'd be worried about them. I'd be worried about them getting lonely, being bullied, being just, well, because I mean at that age, you know, you want your life to be about going home and being with your parents and you all your things that you enjoy at home. So I'd imagine it to be a really awful and daunting experience, and one that could be quite wrecking for confidence and personality. But others will completely disagree. And they're allowed to as well. I reckon these meaty shapes are probably about cooked actually. I could cut them in half to find out, but I don't want to spoil the shapes. 1 hour and 43 minutes in, and as soon as this is finished, well, no, I'll tell you what I'll do. No, yeah, I'm going to make you watch me eat it. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. And then you can see whether I actually enjoy it, whether it's something worthwhile doing or not. What's your thoughts on the risk of global nuclear war? Asks Cat's Meow. Are you prepared? Who's prepared? What can you do about it? What can you actually do? It's not like you can. If we had nuclear war, there's nothing you can do about it. So there's no point in really thinking about it a great deal. Send the kids to a prison camp. I'm overly anxious when I leave my dog with someone, let alone the kids. Yeah, exactly. I don't have kids, by the way. I'm a teenager. Will you chew? Oh, will you chew with your mouth open or closed? Asks Cat's Meow. I'll chew with it closed, but I do struggle to talk with it closed. So it might be a bit of a mix of both. Let's eat one now. So I'm going to have a fork. I'm going to go straight for the dog turd shaped one. It looks like it might be cooked. And on the plate, I'm just going to put on some of the yogurt, just like that. So, there we go. It is the dog turd shaped meatball and spicy sweet yogurt. Oh. Not cooked enough. As soon as I bit into that, I can see that. That's a disappointment. I was really looking forward to it. You know, I've actually got myself really rather hungry now as well, which has come unexpected. I wasn't expecting to feel hungry just yet. Yeah, the trick to having it cooked just right is a bit of a difficult one, because you don't want it overcooked. You're going to go with it then. I'll eat some of this yogurt. That's a really good idea. Try that. Try that for spicy meat. Natural yogurt, cinnamon, ginger, and either syrup or honey. It's really good. Are there any more comments for you to read out and elaborate on? That's the next question. You have good manners, says Cats Meow. Well, thank you. I try to. Steve Cole. I'm phoning Hitler up. Learn sign language. You can speak whilst eating. That's quite a good idea. The only trouble is, I could learn sign language, but it would be, the viewers would have to be able to understand it as well. What's the percentage of people in, well, I was going to say the UK, but I'm not stuck with just UK people on this channel. What's the percentage on average of people who can read sign language? I think it's pretty low, actually. Would you give my kind regards to your wife? Asks Skik. Yeah, okay. I could do that. I don't think she knows who you are, though. That's the only thing. Might seem a bit strange. I was going there and say, there's a man called Skik who wants to give his regards to you. I'd expect a kind of right, okay, thanks. So you could request I tell her all about you, I suppose. Maybe I would do that. Maybe I'd remember. I love marinating my stuff. You can do chicken or plain yogurt with loads of spices before cooking. Yeah, I know. The only thing is, if you forget to do it, or you don't know that you're cooking it, it doesn't really work, does it? Though it's used for chicken curries usually. Yeah. Are you eating pork? Asks Cats Meow. I'm not. This is it's beef. That is a different animal. How can someone phone Hitler? Isn't he dead? Yeah, he is. We could be talking about a different Hitler. Charlotte Calliston says, boarding school was a great experience for me when I was young. That's why I sent my daughter to one in northern Scotland. Unfortunately, things haven't gone so smooth for her. Yeah, no, we don't all have the same kind of personalities, do we? Now, maybe, Charlotte, you're somebody who's naturally just very confident and gets along with everyone and isn't susceptible to being bullied. And I do say that susceptible because some people, like myself, I don't ever remember really being picked on at school, which is odd because I didn't really fit in either. But when I say susceptible, I just don't really think I took offence by any of it. And I've been more likely to actually be a smart arse about it, and then they know to leave you alone. but your daughter might not be the same. So presumably she's, doesn't have the same level of confidence that you had. I'm going to come back to that in another couple of minutes. Can't be that much longer, can it? Cat's Meow says, how can you eat meat and do sign language at the same time? Well, I suppose what you do, you put some in your mouth, and that, because whilst you've got it in your mouth and you're chewing it up, that's when you could do the thing with your hands, which you wouldn't really be able to do it whilst cutting it up. Right, I see, that's a good idea actually, Bev. If you're really stuck, you can always microwave it a tad to finish the inside off. Okay, good tip there, good tip. She ells. Totally reasonable answer, but I'm not sure what to. But thank you anyway. Thank you for popping in. Would you be shocked if she knows Skick? No, not really. No, I mean, she knows everybody else, so why not? Can you give Cabbage and Poppy my regards? Yes, I can, Dick Dastardly. How nice of you to ask. Pretty common among deaf people. Well, yeah, I suppose it would be valid as a valid point. Mr. Dick Dastardly gave his regards to the kids. Well, what? Mr. What Daddy? Eh? Mr. What? I don't know what you mean there. What's your thoughts on the Pythagorean theorem? I don't know at the moment. It's not really something I'm going to try and get into. But what are your thoughts on it? You can tell me yours instead, whilst I go back to eating a bit more of this. I'm going to just, this time, what I'm going to do is just simply, yeah, that's just about okay. Only just stop being red. Well, it's not overly spicy either. I think with a Madras, you'd expect it to be quite, well, very spicy. Could do it a bit more spicy, in fact. The yogurt sauce really makes it though. It really works. Which one next? Which meaty shape next? The cube is kind of split in half and looks like it's got a mouth now. The ball is still kind of a ball. The rectangular cubey thing, still okay. And then the pyramid is still a pyramid shape. But the pyramid and the ball are more likely to be still a little bit uncooked in the middle. So I'm going to just grab hold of the pyramid, which is there, and just simply, yeah, there we go. Now that's still what we might call a little bit on the red side on the inside. So it's a shame I can't just eat the shapes. Oh, I thought I must run out of my tea then as well. Can you guess what happened then? Can you? Yeah. Tea bag first. Right, I'm going to just catch up with these comments and then bring it to an end because I've got to 2 hours almost now. That's more than long enough. How much is the fish? How much do they cost? They cost all sorts of different prices, Steve. But usually, they're about sort of £12 for 4. Are you a homosexual? Asks Wideman on the right. Well, I know why you're asking, but it wasn't. I was in that club by accident when we met. So no, I'm not. But I won't tell anyone that I saw you there. Do you know any knock jokes? Or knock knock? If you just say yes, knock knock. I don't really remember any, to be honest. Do you like the old cock, sir? Which old cock? Cock-a-doodle-doo? Yeah, I do. Cock-a-doodle-doo-doo. There's a format people use. I'm saying is what I tell to the kids in his DDs. They means that kids tend to be quite curious. Who's there? Madam who? In 10 years' time, you'll be eating squirrel. Interesting observation. Madam Foot hers. Game 2020. Go have a shower. Well, we'll do in a bit. I will do once I've finished with this. You can join me if you like, but don't try and rub my back. I do it myself. Although it's very difficult to reach your back properly, I'm not doing that again. I told you, it's simple as that. You can come in the shower with me, but just behave yourself. Okay, Game 2020. Okay, you got me. Right, okay then, I reckon that is going to be the end of this particular live stream. There's another one there. Just wear socks, as he is not homosexual. Yeah. Do you use Irish Spring soap? No, I don't know what it is. But I'm sure it's fantastic. Anyway, that is the end for today. So thank you, absolutely everybody who has joined me. Oh, there's another one there to read out. Let's do that one first. What's going on there? Do you like trains, car, candy, pandas, Japan? Asks Nikki Laughlin. Yeah, like them all. Goodbye, everyone. I'm going to study. Keanu Christ, says Josh. Yeah, that's quite a good one, actually. Bye-bye. Cheers, Captain. Good night. Oh, there we go. Boaty, mustard, and lots of love from Boaty there, isn't it? Lots of love. Hello, my lanky friend. I'm just going. I was just about to press stop, and then you turned up. But there's no one to stop me. Bye, sweetie. Have a fun time. Thank you. And that's it. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.